All right, guys. So today, what we're going to be discussing is free meals, or sorry, cheat meals and cheat days. Okay. Um, so we've learned how to um, track foods when eating out, right? We've learned how to track foods when eating out. We've learned how to kind of plan ahead, and we're gonna talk about that again today. But now what we're going to learn to do is what to do when we just want to have like a cheat meal, right? Or a cheat day. Now, if you've been a client for a while, you are that at Real Results Fitness, we don't use a cheat meal and we don't use cheat day. And you know that I absolutely hate and dread that word. And I don't use hate a lot, but I absolutely hate and dread that word because when we say cheat and when we use cheat, it puts a negative connotation in our head. And we just think of going absolutely all out and let me just eat what's in front of me. And we think about like The Rock and how he has this gigantic cheat meals, like 8 pizzas and 4 loaves of French toast and this, that, and the other that are like 2 pounds each. So we don't have cheat meals at Real Results Fitness, but we do have free meals and we do have free days. Okay. So the problem sometimes with the cheat meals is that is what I just mentioned, is that we go all out, we go crazy. We think that, you know what, screw it. How many people in here have actually done that before, where like maybe you've ate healthy, quote unquote, or ate clean throughout the week, and then the weekend comes, a birthday party comes, a wedding happens, something like that happens, and then you just kind of throw everything away, and then you're kind of you're what I like to call Mr. Monday, and Mr. Monday is that person that's like, well, I'll just get back on it on Monday, right? So who here by show of hands has done that, has thrown away their whole week from just doing 1 or 2 bad days? So thank you. So that is why, guys, we do not do a cheat meal, or we do not do a cheat day. Okay. Um, and then also what happens is like mentally messes us up, right? Because um, just kind of to sidetrack and come back to it, is sometimes when people start this program or any other program, they're like, well, it's like their last wish, right? They're like, well, this is my last week. I'm gonna eat everything in sight and then I'm gonna be on it, right? But we all know that that creates a really bad habit, because who here has had a really crazy or really bad eating day or whatnot, and then tried to just go back to like normal and or clean eating before, right? It's not that easy. It's not just like a light switch where we turn on and off and it's like, all right, cool. Like if it was that easy, then we'd probably be exactly where we want to be at already. So that being said, that's why we don't do a cheat meal. Okay. So what we do, we get the word cheat out of our head. Okay. We do free meals and we do free days. Okay. So how do you track a free meal? Okay. Ideally, so one, is you consult with me. All right, so consult with me. Let me know, like, hey, like I'm having a birthday party coming up, or hey, there's a wedding. How the heck am I gonna manage? And then I'm gonna help give you some guidelines. But I'm also gonna tell you exactly how to do it right now, because again, the whole point is for you to learn and not just like for me to tell you what to do. Okay. So free meal. What we do is one, if you can plan it ahead, great. Okay. So if, for example, you're going out with the boys, you're going out with the girls, you just, it's whatever. It's Saturday and you want to have, let's say a Pizookie, for example, right? Or half a Pizookie. Let's say half a Pizookie, okay? Because we don't want to push it crazy. All right, but let's just say we want to have a Pizookie. All right, so you made good choices for your breakfast, lunch. You had a solid dinner meal. at wherever, at BJ's or wherever you're having this Pizookie or form of Pizookie, whatever. And now you're like, oh, I'm still hungry. Like you're still sitting around with your friends, your family, significant other, and you're like, I want to have this Pizookie. So what do? So instead of just like having the Pizookie, feeling like crap, and then being Mr. Monday, like we mentioned, Mr. and Mrs. Monday, enjoy it. All right. So like so for example, have half the Pizookie and then be done with it. Okay. Do not track it. So when we're doing free meals, and we're talking about free meals in particular, not a day that you just like kind of mess up. It's two different things. So when you're doing a free meal, you do not track it. You have the meal, the dessert, the whatever, the fettuccine alfredo, whatever it is, and then you be done with it, right? But also be mindful of your portions. All right. So just because it's a free meal and Fatty said it's cool for you to have a free meal and you're okay to have that free meal, doesn't mean like, well, he said to have a free meal, so I'm going to go for the big Pizookie and I'm going to grab a flight of beers with it and this, that, and the other, right? So like have that Pizookie, enjoy it, be done with it, do not track it, and that's it. Okay. So even though guys, like we all I have you all at a certain macro number or range and a certain calorie number or range, nothing is exact, right? So even like, how do we know even if what we're tracking on MyFitnessPal is exact? We don't. Like it's as close as possible, but it's not exact. Same thing with when you're tracking, when you're eating your calories. Your body doesn't like lose fat on whatever, let's say like 1,800 calories and gain fat on like 1,825 calories. Okay, so like there's a bit of a range and a leeway that you can play with, and that's why it's okay to kind of have these like free meals, right? And or just if it's something that again, a free meal is also something that you would never be able to like really track on your macros and have a normal rest of your day, or that it would just like put you way over on calories and everything, like and again, this is a reason why we with our free meals we're still smart about it, right? So like let's just say, I don't know, I'm just going to throw a number out there, but let's just say a whole Pizookie is 800 calories. Okay, and let's say if you have half of that, that's 400, right? Give half to the other person or whatever, just don't eat the other half or have a smaller one. But that's why we also don't, it's good. There's a fine line between enjoying your free meal and not going completely overboard. Does that make sense so far, guys? Yeah. Any questions about that so far, as far as like free meal, what to do? No? Okay, good. So let's say now we're going to talk about a free day. Okay, not a cheat day. We're talking about a free day. So free day is something like a birthday party, something like I'm meeting up with friends that I haven't met up with for a really long time, something like I don't know. You guys insert the blanks, but a couple things to do. Okay, so one is, if you know that there's going to be a lot of food going on, if you know that which most festivities are surrounded around like food and drink, right? If you know this particular thing, for example, I went out to a brewery last week with a friend to celebrate his birthday party. So what do you do like if everything is surrounded around like food and alcohol? One very, very good and easy tip for you to do is you can take one with you, or you can buy one at the convenience store or make it ahead of time, but just like have a protein shake ready. Okay. So one is have a protein shake ready before. So that way, let's say you go to a brewery, or let's say you go to a restaurant and it doesn't have the best menu choices, and you're going to, because we've already learned what to do and how to make adjustments, you've made a really good menu choice, right? Whether that be through portions or calories or macros or anything like that. So you've either made a good portion choice, but having a protein shake, and like I would probably just do like a protein shake with water, because remember, protein helps keep us fuller longer and it's slower digesting. So it will help keep you fuller longer. So that way, the thought process of it is that because you're fuller, because you're more full, it will help you to avoid eating some other foods, or like, let's say like a whole pizza to yourself, and instead you're having like a personal pan-sized pizza, right? So one is having something planned before. So like have a protein shake before. Very easy tip. One is planning after, right? Planning something after. So like maybe having a protein bar or something of a protein shake in the car with you. And then what do you do in between time? The main thing to do in between time is still be conscious and remember like what you're eating. So it's okay to enjoy time with your friends, with your family, but guys, I never, and I want you to think the same way, never consider it a meal if there's no protein in it, okay? So never consider it a meal if there is no protein in it. And again, protein helps keep us fuller longer, helps keep us satiated, it's slower digesting. So all that being said, it will help to aid us in potentially overeating other foods. Does that make sense, guys? So that's number one. Number two, with these free days, if you are going to be like tracking, so you can still track on a free day and just kind of be a little bit more loose, is what we discussed a little bit earlier is track your calories and not necessarily your macros, right? And literally just like type it in and just be done with it, or have an idea of what it is before. Just because hopefully you guys are like enjoying time out with your friends and family, or eating out and not always like eating home cooked foods, if you want to, right? But that kind of gives you an idea of like, all right, whatever. If I'm gonna go to let's just say Panda Express, and I have like the teriyaki chicken and rice, and you've entered it on MyFitnessPal a million times before, right? And now you're going to like a Korean barbecue, for example, and you have something similar, and we know what the fist from. I knew that would catch your attention. And then you have like something similar, right? You kind of have an idea of like, all right, this is like 500 calories for this meal, or 300 calories, and then just do it that way. And then always just try to be conscientious. Like there is a big difference with how much you're intaking when it's regular chicken or fried chicken, right? Or fried fish compared to like whatever, grilled fish or anything like that. So just kind of being more conscientious of what you're eating, instead of like, hey, Fatty said it's a free day, let's go at it, like don't have a food eating contest with your friends because it's a free day. So just enjoy that time. And then, yeah, most importantly, guys, is be present, right? Because a lot of these events is because we're with company and we're trying to enjoy company, and of course food and drink is surrounded around it, but also just be present and remember that, like, that's the main reason that you're there for, right? And again, if you are tracking, remember it's not going to be perfect. Even if you're tracking everything 1000% completely from home, you've cooked it and everything, it's still not going to be exact. All right. So that being said, guys, that's how we handle a free meal. That's how we handle a free day. We don't do cheat meals. We don't do cheat days. And also it's important to remember, if you're going to have like a free day, expect a little bit of a weight fluctuation, not a fat fluctuation, okay? It's really, really hard to gain fat in one day from like overeating. If you did, you went all out. Like you went ham, all right? So if you gained actual fat, actual body fat, you went all out. It might feel like you did. You might feel heavier. Your body might look different in the mirror, but I promise you, unless you like ate, like, let's just say like whatever, macros or your calorie goal, even if you're not tracking it, your body is, right? Then you're not really necessarily gaining fat. All right. If you went from like, I don't know, let's just say you went from let's say your goal calories, just for nice round numbers, is 1,500, and you ate 3,000 in a particular day, you might have gained a tiny bit of fat, but again, it's nothing. Don't let all this stuff affect your life, affect your day-to-day life. All right. So we're going to go around in the circle, and we're going to go over biggest obstacles, and then we could go over any questions if you have. So we're going to start with Mina. Biggest takeaway from today. And go ahead and unmute yourself, please.
So the biggest takeaway is go out and be present and be in the moment when you go out versus worrying so much about MyFitnessPal or what Faggy's going to say.
Yeah, like
that's my biggest takeaway, because I will always look and be like, ah, crap, I had an extra or whatever. Forget it. I'm running home.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been there before, and it's not like it's not somewhere you want to like continue going down. So always just like, again, like enjoy it, be done with it, but also don't go like, don't have the Pizookie and then go to a drive-through on the way home, and then go to the liquor store and then grab a fruit like a candy bar on the way home, just because like one quote unquote bad meal happened. Okay. Thank you for sharing, Mina. Emily, biggest takeaway of today.
Biggest takeaway is you can have that, scandalous meal. But
I don't know about scandalous.
I want to call it a cheat meal. You said no cheat meal. You can have that suspicious meal, and that's all good and fine, but just make sure you're checking yourself before you wreck yourself and not doing it every day.
How are you doing that? How are you checking yourself?
You're tracking. Meal. You're tracking, and you're not saying, okay, my cheat meal is actually 6 meals. It's just this one.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing, Emily. Linda, biggest takeaway of today. Let's get you. You're muted right now. There you go.
Biggest takeaway today is how many meals Mina eats. No, I'm just joking. Today is about, it's not a cheat meal, it's a free meal. And I've been waiting to hear that. It's a free meal. I'm hungry right now and I need a free meal. So it's to go with it, just, be mindful of what you're having.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. And then also, guys, if you ever feel, I'll message you separately, Linda. But guys, if you ever feel like you're there, like you're on edge, and you're like, I'm on edge, but I'm gonna try and tough it out. Just like message me. We'll discuss it. We'll talk about if it's time to have a free meal, or it might be time to have a free meal. It might be me just telling you like, hey, let's tough it out and let's see what happens. But don't, again, we're here, we're in it together. So like, don't feel like, oh, I know myself and I'm gonna do this. Like, let's talk it out, and we'll work on it together, whether it is setting up a free meal or whether it's just like, hey, let's continue on and see what we're doing. Okay. Thank you for sharing, Linda. And Tawana, biggest takeaway of today. Let's get you unmuted.
I have to say my biggest takeaway, plus I started doing that because of my birthday was this week, is like plan ahead. If there's an event or something that you're going to be participating in, if it's at a restaurant, I'll even look at the menu ahead of time and put the food that I want to eat into the FitnessPal to see if that's something that I can work around and do and still have a cocktail.
Good. Huge. That's huge right there, guys. Like, if you can, and if you do know that you are going to go, so if it's your birthday, I want you enjoying your time. but like if you are gonna go out, and usually a lot of times when we do go out, it's kind of premeditated. So again, yeah, try and look at the restaurant, look them up. Not every restaurant is gonna be in there, right? But just get as close to it as possible, right? If it's whatever, if it's I don't know, someone name a food. Someone throw a food out there. Someone try and test
Tacos.
tacos.
Tacos right there.
All right, so tacos. So for something like tacos, what I would personally do is dissect the food. Okay, so like if it's something that is very confusing or has a ton of ingredients, dissect the food. Dissect the food on MyFitnessPal. So you would type in one hard taco shell. You would type in whatever 1 ounce, like however the taco is made. 1 ounce of beans, 2 ounces of ground beef, half a cup of sour cream, and half a cup of not half a cup, but you guys get the idea. Like a tablespoon of sour cream and tablespoon of guac, and that way you can track it individually and it'll still add up to the same. Because if you type in tacos on MyFitnessPal, you're gonna see like 25 different things, and none of the calories are gonna be similar because everyone makes them different, right? So really good, Tawana. And then let's see that bag of chips, and then after Tawana, we'll go around with the Q&A. And so,
Pork skin.
so give me the macros on those. Those are really good for fat and protein, I know.
Well, I like to eat it if I have a craving for something salty or like chips, because I know it's not as healthy, but it does take care of that craving and stuff, you know. So it has like 70 calories for about 9 pieces.
Okay.
It says here. It's got less than 1 gram of carbohydrates. It has no sugars, no fiber, but a lot of deliciousness.
Yeah. And how much protein? I think those are really high in protein. Those are usually like
Uh,
8-ish.
see, it's got a lot of salt, sodium 380, but
So how much fat and protein? Protein is usually at the bottom of it.
okay, so protein is 4.
Okay. And then fat is 7, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. So that, again, not bad. Like if you want to fill in those calories or macros, I'd much rather have you enjoy those. And especially like if you're low on fat, that's a good way to get fat and some protein. So there's a little snack for you, Mina. I know you've been struggling with getting some fats in, so that's a good way. And then also you're getting some protein in, and like
Right.
minimal carbs, like not even worth it to track. So yeah, I think that's absolutely fine. I'd much rather have you go with something like that than a bag of like hot Cheetos, right?
Oh, yeah.
So good question. Any other
And
questions?
these
Sorry.
are spicy. And these are spicy
Oh, those are
too.
the spicy ones. Good guys. So any other questions regarding this or like what we discussed or anything else? No question free for the weekend? No? Okay. All right, guys. So good. Thank you all for showing up. So we have, so I'm just going to be, oh, go ahead, Mina, shoot.
So what is the trade-off with doing exercises via bands versus weights? Like when you, for example, do a tricep kickback or, yeah, I don't know. What's the difference between using bands and using weights to do an exercise?
So weights are, they both have their place. There's no like better or worse. Weights they have are easier to track, right? So like band resistance band, even if it tells you like 40 pounds, it depends on like how much resistance you're putting on it, right? Like if, for example, you're doing a tricep kickback, if you're stepping right in the middle of it or like further in, so it's creating more resistance. But they both like are very, very effective, and they both have a place. you could actually even include like both of them. So if you guys have really light weights and bands, something you could do effectively try and use both. You can't do it with every exercise, but like for example, if you're doing it with like a chest press, you could wrap it behind your back and have the weights here, and that will create more resistance. But also be careful that it's not going to snap back and slap you in the face. All right. But yeah, like they both have their place and they're both very effective. Like if I were to go like 1 and 2, I would go weights first and then bands. But that's not to say if you only have bands, like you can't make any progress. So,
Okay, cool.
good question. Any other questions, guys? Nope. Good. Awesome, guys. So, I'm going to be posting in the group in the next 5 minutes as far as like biggest win of the week. So please just go ahead and share on there. And other than that, guys, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your weekends. And keep killing it throughout the weekend. All right. Have a good one, guys. Bye. Oh, wait. Before we go, I almost forgot. We got to take a picture. All right, let's get this camera out. You guys can flex if you want. I'm gonna flex because you know what's the point of taking a picture if you're not flexing? Oh. All right, guys. 3, 2, 1, smile. All right. Thank you, guys. Have an amazing rest of your week. And if you haven't got your check-in yet, I will be sending them all later today. All right. Have a good one, guys. I'll talk to you later.